What's up guys, it's Joe from GGD and I'm here with what I think is probably the easiest thing that you can do to really improve the quality and clarity of your mix almost instantly. And it's not really a mixing thing, it's actually just your guitar tuning. I think this is something that can be easily overlooked, especially for people starting out. I know that I definitely did. And it's something that once you notice, you'll start noticing it. Trust me. So in Logic here, I've got two little scenarios that I'm going to show you. So for the drums, we've got One Kit Wonder Architects. And then we've got Nolly Bass. And then for guitars, I am, of course, using the brand new Studio Cabs Contenders Round 1. And I've just got this loaded on the default patch, which is the MAR AV cab with the 57 with the master EQ engaged. I'll just show you what these sound like. Now, before we start looking at those examples that I've made, I'm going to show you something I always keep in mind when tuning. And that is the kind of concept of tuning for the part you're playing. And that might sound kind of confusing because surely tuning is tuning. If a guitar's in tune, it's in tune. Not really, actually. Let me show you. So I've just got this tuner up here, which is part of the archetype Nolly from Neural DSP. I want you to pay attention to where the note is on the transient or the pick attack, and then where the note lies on the sustained note of hitting a string. So you can see there that on the attack, it's actually pulling slightly sharp by a noticeable amount. This is sort of the basis of the concept of tuning for the part you're playing. It's the idea that basically, if you're going to be playing something with like in this first example here, that's all sort of the attacky pick attack bit, right? It's the fast bit. We're not hearing a sustained, drawn out note there. So I'm not going to want to tune my guitar to the sustained note. So if I tune it like this, to the sustained note, if I then do sort of a quick succession of notes, we can see that we are pulling sharp all the time. So if I record that, that's actually going to be sharp the whole time. So what I'm going to do instead is hit the notes and then tune it. So there I'm in tune whilst playing the part that I'm about to record. But if I'm going to be doing a sustained note, I'm now way flat. So then if I was about to record a part with sustained drawn out notes, I would then tune to the sustained part of the note. So I made this example here to show you the difference in that. So this part here, let's color them something else. So the green guitars here, I tuned the guitar to a sustained note, and the blue guitars here, I tuned it to the attack of the note, okay? The transient or the pick attack, whatever you want to call it. And just hearing them back to back, it's a subtle difference. But then if I were to show you these, like A, B, a certain section, it's quite stark actually. I'm going to boost up the bass because this bass being a MIDI bass is perfectly in tune. And now let's compare that to where I've tuned the guitar to the pick attack. To me, it sounds a lot more unified, more glued, and a lot more locked in. So let's go in and compare this section where it's tuned to this section where it will be pulling sharp. Now, to me, that's a really obvious difference. Now, the second part, I think some people aren't going to like the idea of it, but it's the idea of tuning chord by chord. I can hear a lot of people groaning and moaning at the idea of this, maybe because it seems inauthentic. You're doing a lot of punching in when you're tracking guitars, or maybe people just can't be bothered, and I can sympathize with both of those. But if I am looking to do a polished recording, you know, a modern sort of hi-fi sounding production, out of tune chords are going to be one of the things that just instantly take you out of the zone when listening to those kind of things, in my opinion. These guitars here, let's color them green again, they're tuned correctly for the frequency of note, as in the subdivision of note, which in this case is eighth notes. But guitars actually are very imperfect instruments, and as soon as you start playing chords up the neck, the intonation is going to start screwing with it, and it's going to pull certain notes out of tune. So if you're looking to do perfectly in tune chords on a guitar, you're going to want to consider tuning chord by chord. And what that means is, you can see here, I've taken each chord and I punched them in separately, having held the notes of the chord and tuning it specifically to that chord. Let me show you what that looks like. So we're going to be employing the same technique from the last section. So we're going to be, because we're doing eighth notes here, what I'm going to do is go through and basically alter the tuning of each of these strings so that each string is in tune in this chord position. So that's ever so slightly sharp. So I'm going to pull it down. There we go. And then the next note in the chord. Same thing. There we go. Then the next note is this one. The last note. And there we go, we are in tune. So it's a bit laborious, but I will now demonstrate the difference in the clarity of the production that you achieve by doing this. So as I said, this first section here is completely, it's in tune, but you can hear when I play the chords, it just sounds kind of muddled. You can hear some things kind of just out of tune. And then here is the chords tuned chord by chord. To me, the difference in the clarity and the power of that section is so clear. And there's something about having it so in tune that it just makes the section hit harder. If I'm going for like a modern, polished production, it's definitely worth doing. If you're doing like sort of, you know, grungy hardcore, then I'd probably recommend not doing this. But I think if you're going for a certain sound, it's really beneficial. So that's what I wanted to show you today, and I think it's something really useful to bear in mind going forward if you're recording and producing music. It definitely made a huge difference to me, and it might take you kind of a bit to develop the ear to really hone in on that kind of tuning and hear when things are slightly out. But trust me when I say that it is worth investing some time into, and it's really going to help elevate your productions to the next level. And it's one of the simplest things you can do. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope it was useful, and I'll catch you next time.